Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We are back with Connected Hearts. This is the second part. So, where we left off, we found this strange girl, Alice, in a dream. But then we came and found that it wasn't a dream and all this weird stuff happened. But anyway, if you haven't seen the first part, go back and watch that. Then come back to this video. So we're gonna continue and let's do this. Okay, so here's where we left off. I don't know, however, I can stop staring at it. So, okay, what are we gonna do, guys? Are we gonna looking at it closer, or should get out of there? The smart thing to do is look at it closer. Boom. Enchanted by the mysterious presence of the mirror, I start walking towards it. Before I knew it, I was standing right next to it. I blink while looking at it in silence. There is something incredible in it. Not just that, something beautiful too. I don't think before extending my hand, touching the glass with the tip of my fingers. I feel like touching the surface of a frozen lake. I feel like they only need to press a little harder to get inside the mirror. Cross it as if I was jumping into a pool. Should I try? Why not jump? I'm not aware of what I was thinking until my feet moved, but then it was too late to stop. I opened my eyes, astonished at seeing what I was doing. Somebody planted an idea in my mind and I accepted it as mine. So easily, it was scary. Just seconds ago, I was frightened of that mirror. And now, I was being consumed by it, falling deeper and deeper into the unknown place. Oh. I closed my eyes, now unable to see me fall. I want to scream, but no sound comes out of me. Is as if I was screaming in outer space, but there is air here. No, I was wrong. It is not air, but water what surrounds me. I'm sinking as if someone had chained an anchor to my legs, so fast I confused it with falling. The sensation doesn't go away for many long seconds that seem eternal. I lose myself falling from the world. Would I belong to another unknown one? Ah! Suddenly, I open my eyes, gasping with surprise. At the same time, I wake up, almost jumping. I was about to scream, as if waking up from a nightmare. I would say it was just that if it wasn't for a single detail. I rub my forehead, finding small drops of sweat. Then I take a deep breath, closing my eyes for a moment. My heart still beats, obnoxious, but slowly it relaxes. When I open my eyes again, I realize I'm not in my room. I haven't woken up yet from the strange nightmare. Instead, I find myself in an old building made of wood. What is this place? I murmured, confused while looking around, ignoring how I got here. There doesn't seem to be anything strange with this place. I find myself in a dormitory. There are many beds around, all of them small and painted with bright colors. That makes me think they belong to children. I scratch my head before standing up. Where am I? There is nobody here to listen to my question, but curiosity is too much to stay quiet. I didn't realize before, but the beds have names in them. Royer, I read aloud. With curiosity, I look at the others. Mary, Henry. Then I suddenly stop, open my eyes wide, astonished. My heart jumps when I read the next name. Gary. What is this? I can't explain why it has my name. The only answer that comes to mind is that someone was waiting for me and prepared it. But in that case, it is too small. I shake my head, confused, then look at the bed next to it. In so little time, I'm hit by a new surprise that makes me tremble to the core. The name on it was crossed, but there is another one below it that I instantly recognized. Alice. It's her. It must be her who brought me here, I said with complete confidence. Then I looked down, trying to think on what to do next. Soon after, I rubbed my forehead, feeling quite stupid. I first need to get out of here and then find a way back home. Of course, I said to myself, as if it was so easy. When I leave the bedroom, I arrive to a hallway that connects with two other doors. I guess more rooms, and some stairs that go down to the first floor. First I try to open the doors. Without result, soon the only person I have left is to go down. At the end of the stairs there is a door. When I open it, I see what seems to be the living room. I step inside and then I look around with curiosity, discovering a double door. It's the exit. It has to be. I almost jump excited with that thought. But that happiness would not last much. After looking at it closely, I realized something. The door was never going to open. There wasn't anything keeping it closed. It is just I'm looking at a fake door. It's only a part of the wall disguised as a door. This can't be, I said after meaninglessly trying to open the door. Then I shake my head. I'm wrong. This is very possible. After all, I'm inside another world. This is the world behind the mirror. I can't judge it with the same logic as mine. I shouldn't. I take a deep breath, letting out a long sigh. If I want to escape, I guess I could try with the same mirror that got me in. Now the problem is finding him. Gary? Suddenly, I feel a chill. All my body turns to ice when I hear someone call my name, whispering it with a creepy voice behind my back. I instantly turn around, finding surprised how from nowhere, not one, but 4 doors have appeared. What is going on? I said, confused before getting closer. Each door has a name written. The Forest of Whispers, Trip to the Deep, the Kingdom of the Sun and the Forgotten Castle. I read the names aloud, unable to remember ever hearing any of them. They are completely new to me. However, the mystery doesn't end there. 3 of the doors are open, and the Forgotten Castle, is blocked by 3 big lock pads. I'm never going to be able to break them, I said with resignation before a sign. The chains look very solid, but if they are locked, it's because they are protecting something. It can't be just a coincidence to have 3 open doors and 3 lock pads. There must be something valuable behind that door. I nod, convinced I am right. Then I stare at the open doors. Which one should I open first? Okay. So we got 3 forests. Or 3 options. We got the Forest of Whispers, the Trip to the Deeps, and the Kingdom of the Sun. Which one of these should I open? You know what? I'm thinking the Forest of Whispers, maybe. Yeah, let's go with that. Because you never know. Maybe I might find my boy Slenderman in there. I don't know. Oh, that is a creepy ass forest. Why is... This is definitely a forest Slenderman would be in. Okay. Suddenly, I open my eyes. However, I don't wake up in my bed as I would like. Instead, I find myself lying under a tree in the middle of a thick and dark forest. Ah! I exclaimed, bewildered. The last thing I remember was turning the knob of the door. Then there is a gap in my memory, as if I had been teleported to this place. No, it's more like if I had always been here, just unconscious. The memory of the orphanage and everything that happened before are blurry in my memory, as if only a bad dream. But that's impossible. I would never fall asleep in the middle of the forest. I take a deep breath and rub my eyes to fully awake before standing up. Then I look around, not finding a single thing I could call familiar to me. Everything is unknown and even creepy. A forest full of trees with twisted branches. Their air is damp and cold. The leaves seem to whisper words when they move with the wind, but that is only my imagination, or so I hope. Thankfully, the full moon gives enough light to see my way. However, it also produces many shadows, which seem to toy with my mind. I put my hand on my chest, feeling how anxiety hardens my heart. Just one look, no more. Then a few seconds, I'm already nervous. Anyway, I can't stay here. I should look for shelter to pass the night. Under the sunlight, even the forest should stop feeling so scary. I inhale before starting to walk. It's easy to hear my footsteps walking over the branches and leaves in the ground, creating an unmistakable cracking sound each time. Occasionally I stop to look around, thinking I saw something move, but after looking at it better, I realize it is nothing. The leaves whisper with the wind, saying words I can't manage to understand. I feel they laugh at me behind my back, as if the trees can make fun of me. But that's impossible, right? Strangely, there is a sliver of doubt in my mind. After all, it wouldn't be the first impossible thing to happen this long night. After walking for an unknown time, I finally see something appear at the distance. It seems to be a wooden sign, those used to say the name of the place. Excited, I hurry up until I am close enough to read it with the dim light. It is a warning sign. Danger! Beware of the UAS talking wolves. Talking wolf? What? The last the last word is crossed and instead someone wrote something else. Talking wolves. What does that mean? I ask myself, unable to understand it. There is also a sheet of paper stuck to the sign with something written on it. I take it with both hands before reading it. The Lonely Girl. Once upon a time, there was a girl who lived in a cabin in the woods, without any company except for her grandfather. He used to hunt during the day and gather wood during night. Every day, he'd get up early and return late at night, which is why she never got to see him, because when she woke up, he was already gone and didn't come back until after she had gone to bed. Even then, days were gentle. She never felt cold or hungry. However, there was something, a secret, which worried her. During the day, the sun shined between the leaves of the trees. The forest was beautiful, painted by the green of the leaves, and full with sound of the animals, like the singing of the birds. However, when the sun came down, all the charm and beauty of the forest was lost. At night, she closed all doors and windows, and then, frightened, heard the howling of the wolves. The sound of the wolves made her heart tremble, feeling something terrible in them. Some nights they didn't howl, some others it felt like the wolves never stopped. Sometimes they seemed to be very far and others too close, as if they were right next to the house. But she knew that as long as she stayed inside, she was safe. She only had to do that, stay inside the house and sleep until the sun came out again. Every night the same routine repeated, but no matter how many times she did the same, she never could get used to it. Every time the howling of the wolves felt more distressing, more anguishing, until one night she didn't hear a howl but something totally different. Crying. Hearing an animal crying made guilt bloom in her heart. Maybe it's a wounded dog, she said to herself, believing her own lie. Without second thought, she walked towards the door and unlocked the safe, opening it to let the supposed dog in. As she opened it, smiling, she thought she had finally found someone to make her company at home. But her smile didn't last long. because as soon as she opened the door fully, she saw a vicious wolf standing in front of her, and with single jump it ate her. Wow. Listen, kids, this is why you don't open the door for strangers. You never know if there's a wolf right in front of your house ready to eat you. Take this as a lesson. Don't open the door unless you know who's in front of it. Or else you're gonna get eaten by a wolf like this girl just did. Anyway, let's continue. What is this? A children's story? I can't imagine what kind of person would stick a story in a sign. I think about it for a moment and then shake my head and sigh. Anyway, I have to keep moving. I can't waste time thinking about this, and a part of me thinks it's better to leave it unanswered. Without delay, I resume walking across the forest. I walk in a straight line in a single direction to avoid walking in circles, or at least that's what I hope. Since I woke up, I had the sensation that this is one of those haunted forests from fairy tales. Those where it is impossible to escape unless you do something special. But of course, there is no sure way to know it unless I try. However, it doesn't take long for me to stop again. Suddenly, I heard something, a sound that doesn't stop. I feel a chill run over my back when I realized what sound it was. It's something I know very well. The sound of chewing. It has to be a beast. It couldn't be anything else. My common sense tells me it is better to go back and try another path. Yes, that's the best decision. Putting myself in danger by getting closer is the worst thing I could do. However, there's a part of me who wants to do just that. I feel a terrible curiosity for seeing what's making the sound. This is haunted forest, right? Then the animal who lives here must be magical. I get closer to where the sound comes, walking carefully, one step at a time, making sure to be quiet. Soon, a shadow appears between the trees. It slowly adopts the shape of a wolf as I get closer. Pathetic, said an unknown voice, talking as it chews the raw meat of its prey. I opened my mouth and eyes wide, full of surprise. The strange black wolf said a word. I'm sure it did. Accepting it shakes my very core and leaves me breathless. Oh, what did I say? Let me go back. Okay. I feel suddenly cold. Okay. Worthless. Once again, it talks just before having another bite. It seems more like it was growling with sound that imitating human voice. It doesn't look aware of what it is saying. The sounds coming out naturally, and my mind interprets them as words. They must be the talking wolves. I look how it rips off a piece of meat with its sharp fangs for a second before averting my eyes. Then I shake my head. I think I had seen enough. It's better to leave before it notices my presence. I turn around thinking on getting away, but as soon as I get my first step, I hear a creaking sound of a branch. My heart freezes at that moment. I ruined it. I got careless thinking the danger had passed. Awoo! The wolf howls loudly, making an echo across the forest. I shake in fear. Then I turn around just to see it jump, falling right in front of me. Idiot! Said the wolf, growling with anger. Its eyes shine between the shadows, looking right at me, as it is about to attack me. I'm sure. My heart races. I have to do something, or else I'll end up like its other prey. Okay. What do I do? So, run or I have two options. I could run or confront it. So, I might as well confront it, because if I try to run, I'm not going to outrun a wolf. Like, I'm a human. The wolf will definitely outrun me. I can't outrun a wolf. So I'm not even going to try to run it. The best thing to do is confront it like a man. I'll be like, hey, wolf, you listen. I don't want to die, homie. Yeah, I think that's a good idea, guys. Let's confront it. Once I heard that, running away from the beast is the worst you can do, since you are showing it fear and weakness. Instead, acting brave gives them the impression that you are strong, and it's better not to mess with you. Weakling! The wolf shows me its teeth as it growls. To say that image is scary would be a mistake. I am dead cold in fear. Even my soul is shaking in fear. I can feel my heart in my throat, begging me to run away. But I can't do it. I have to fight my instincts, or it will be the end. Suddenly, the wolf growls loudly, making an echo across the forest. Hearing that scares me so much, I lose my balance and fall down. What are you? Immediately, I look for the beast, noticing it's much closer now. Its eyes and fangs shine in the moonlight. I made a mistake. It isn't until now that my hands are shaking and my legs paralyzed that I realize it. Maybe in the real world I made the right decision, but this is not the world, nor the reality I know. I was foolish to believe a talking wolf from a haunted forest would behave just the way I wanted it. That's the last thing that crossed my mind before seeing it jump at me. In an instant, everything became red, and soon later, an absolute black. What? Maybe I should have run. Um, just going to, just going to, let's do that. Don't mind any of this. Just going back to where we were. Nothing's happening. Just forget everything that's happening right now. Yeah. I should have ran. I cannot take on a wolf. I made a mistake. Just gonna... Just don't worry about this, guys. Nothing's happening. Everything's fine. Look at me. I'm flying through this like a breeze. I'm a very fast reader. Back to the Forest of Whispers. Da 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 da. Do 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 do. Okay, we're almost back to where we were, guys. Yes. Story time. Yes, we read this story before, we know. Had yeah. Almost there. Almost back to where we were. Okay. I read all that just now, fast. I didn't die. Me. Now we're selecting the correct answer, and we're gonna try to outrun the wolf. I don't know how well this is gonna go, but they want us to pick it, so I'm going to. Anyway, I don't doubt in hearing my instincts. Without second thought, I turn around and start running as fast as I can. Coward! Grrr. I hear it yell behind my back, not knowing if it was following me or not. I just don't think about it. I only want to get as far away as possible. I run like I never ran in my life. I've never been really fit, but also never had a motivation as good as this to keep running. I hear my rush footsteps over the leaves in the forest, until I finally stop to catch my breath after running for unknown minutes. I gasp for air, feeling my legs and chest burning. Then I look back, finding relieved that there is only shadows and twisted trees, but the beast was left behind. I close my eyes and sigh just before collapsing to the ground. I have no more strength to stand up. My heart keeps beating fast, reminding me, I want to get out of here. I said to myself, closing my eyes for a moment. I take a deep breath, trying to relax. When my eyes open again, I look around with curiosity. What is this? I said nothing. There was a sheet of paper on the ground. Curious, I get closer and pick it up. Then I read it. What it says. Don't try to speak with the wolves. Don't feed them. How weird. I murmured, confused by the strange message. Talking to the wolves is out of discussion. It doesn't seem like they have much to tell me anyway. But the strangest part is the one about feeding them. I have the impression it doesn't mean to give them food, but to end up as food for them. My head hurts after trying to imagine it. I think it is better for me to forget about it. I keep moving. I still have to find a safe place to spend the night. Without delay, I stand up and resume walking. Only this time, I'm much more nervous than before. Now I am sure there is something dangerous hiding between the shadows of this haunted forest. Just knowing it makes my heart beat anxious. I keep on walking without saying a word, just listening to the lonely sound of my footsteps. The silence was very comfortable. Since I knew that as long as I don't hear anything, I am safe. However, slowly it got more and more upsetting until it reached the point it was unbearable. The silence of being alone and surrounded by nothingness is just depressing. I feel like if everything I do is a meaningless effort. I rub my forehead out of frustration. I just don't know what to do. I have no map, no clue, not even a loose idea to give me some sense of direction. I was about to lose my mind when suddenly I noticed what seems to be a building in the distance. I squint, trying to see better. What is it? That's a creepy cabin. An old wooded and an old wood cabin in the forest. Finally, I exclaimed cheerfully, at the same time that my heart jumped excited. After getting closer, I realized it is in a really bad shape. Or it is in a, yeah, this grammar, man. Whole damaged by the time and exposure to the elements with the door and windows broken. At night and inside this forest, it seemed like the ideal place of an horror story and lonely cabin in the middle of a haunted forest. I just hope the wolves have scared away the witches. When I'm about to get in, I notice that beside the broken door there is a note nailed to it. I read what it says. The talking wolves have a weak sense of smell. As long as you keep quiet and don't stand out, they won't see you. Weak sense of smell. I would expect to be the opposite. I guess that explains why I haven't found others. Looks like they aren't very good at tracking their prey. I keep a deep breath before stepping inside the cabin. I hear the boards creaking with each step I take, making me uneasy. At no time I think about asking if someone is home. I would be better if it was abandoned. I beg for it to be. The inside of the cabin is as damaged as the exterior. The furniture is covered by a thick layer of dust, and there are cobwebs everywhere. I find some oil lamps, but they are all empty. With curiosity, I try to light one of them, with no results. The chairs and tables and other furniture are in such a bad state that it seems a single touch would be enough to make them fall apart, so I avoid doing it. The oven still has coal inside, but doesn't seem to have been used in a long time. I continue exploring until finally stopping in front of a door. My heart jumps when I feel a chill run all over my spine. I hold my breath, unable to believe it. There is light coming from under the bed. It's perfectly quiet, but just seeing light in there makes me think there is someone inside. However, the hard part is guessing who could that be. At least I don't think it's a wolf. Then suddenly I remember what I thought before. It was only a joke when I said that about the witches, but now I was actually considering it. I don't knock the door, just carefully open it, holding my breath as I wait for what would be revealed to the other side. My eyes open wide in surprise. At the same time, my face gets pale with incredulity as I see in front of me a little girl lying on the floor and reading a book. I look at her in silence without moving a single muscle. I don't know what should I don't know what should I do. I'm not even sure it was real. And yet, here it is, in front of my eyes, looking so innocent. Suddenly, the girl blinks and notices my presence. She then turns her head, staring at me for a couple of seconds. Aha! Without a reason, she exclaimed, terrified. Standing up with a single move and getting behind the bed in the room. Okay. It was her protecting shield against the unwanted invader that I was. I scratched my head confused, then raised my hand showing with the gesture that I don't have bad intentions. I stayed like that, still and quiet, for a moment for her to calm down. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. After saying that, I noticed how she peeks from behind the bed. It might sound silly, but to me, it was so incredibly cute. Don't be shy. It's only I'm I'm lost and was looking for a place to rest for the night. I stopped for a moment to let her say something, but after getting no answer for a while, I continued. My name is Gary. What is yours? I smiled gently as I crouched so that we can see each other's eyes. I stare at her and she stares back at me, as if we could see the interior of our hearts in our eyes. Her look is fragile but honest. She blinks, taking a few more seconds before finally getting out from behind the bed. It makes me glad to see she seems to finally trust me. And guys, this story is really interesting so far, but unfortunately, I'm gonna have to end it there for today, guys. If you like this video, leave a like, subscribe, and comment below. I read your comments. I want to hear the feedback, guys. This is only the second part, but we got a long way to go. So if you want to see a part 3 to this, I'll do it, guys. I'll do it. And if you don't, just let me know. I won't do it. But anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow for another upload. Bye, guys.